Hey guys, it's Zen Maiden 1 coming in for my RNY revision journey. I had gastric bypass revision from the VSG. My VSG I had on November 15th, 2011. And I had the VSG, and I have a couple hundred videos on the VSG, so you can look back at my history if you're interested in that. During that time that I had the VSG, I had some complications rise. I had a lot of GERD, right from the beginning. I had a lot of nausea at the beginning. That went away. My sleeve changed shape from banana to hourglass. So every time I would eat or drink something, it would kind of stop and then go. So that was an issue. So what happened is I also had some regain. I gained about 40 pounds from my original low weight, which was only about 175 was my lowest from the gastric sleeve. And now I started my journey at 217 pounds, and I need to lose all of this regain, plus try to get down to my ideal BMI, or close, just so that I feel comfortable. I've also developed arthritis in the last 10 years, and I actually had it then, but now it's just gotten worse, and the weight doesn't help. It's in my feet and knees, mostly my feet. In addition, I have hypertension, and it looks like it's coming down now, but for last couple of years I've been on 2 blood pressure medications, and I'm looking forward to ridding myself of them at some point. Right now I'm down to 1. I am 10 days post-op. My RNY revision was on November 11, 2021. So welcome to my channel, and if you don't know me, I am Zen Maiden 1, Melody, and I share all the good, bad, and ugly of my journey, the ups and downs and highs and lows, and I'd love for you guys to join in and subscribe if you aren't already a current subscriber. If you are, welcome back to all my current subscribers. I haven't made videos in a couple of years, and so now I'm picking up the journey again, journey to health, and so I'm really excited. I want to talk today about my hospital experience and days 1 through 10, gastric bypass, how it's different from the sleeve for me, how I feel, and all that. I am now 65 years old, and I am 5 feet 4. So I know those are things that people frequently leave out in their videos, and it annoys me, so I want to make sure I tell you my age, my height, and my current weight. My current weight is now 202. I will be in Wonderland in a couple of pounds. And yeah, on the way through the rest of the journey downward, which is a long ways to go. So my normal BMI puts me at the high weight of 140. And we'll see how I feel and all that when I get down toward that way, or 135, 140. I'm hoping that 135, 140 will be good for me. We'll see. Hopefully I can get there. When I had the sleeve, I had a really hard time losing weight. I also worked out really hard, starting fairly early, and I really now, in retrospect, think that that was a mistake, and that may have taken some of the energy away from me actually losing and causing me to gain or maintain muscle mass. So this time I'm going to be walking and just doing moderate exercise on bands, weights, and just moving along, mostly letting my body lose the weight, and then I will be able to tone it up, and hopefully if my feet are good, I can do hikes and get back into nature, which is the things we want to do. Last time, since you may have seen some of the hospital clips I put up, they are kind of funny. I'm really loaded on Dilaudid and killing the pain. So we'll talk about everything from step 1. I had my surgery at Los Robles Hospital in Thousand Oaks, California. My surgeon this time, his name is Dr. Amir Mehran. It's M-E-H-R-A-N. He's super nice, and he has a boutique practice. He mostly does gastric bypass, and he will do sleeves. He's an expert in his field. Obviously, he's a bariatric surgeon, but he comes very highly recommended. As you guys recall, I was using Dr. Kashishian originally to get the DS from sleeve. I was set on getting the DS, and for various reasons, and the fact that I had serious GERD, Dr. Kashishian, and weighing all the balances and checks, felt that for me, the gastric bypass would be a better option. I was very disappointed at the beginning because I never had the gastric bypass, so I didn't know if it was really going to work for me. And I still have that little nagging voice, is it going to work for me, in my head? And, I have to trust the process like everyone says, and being older and, it being a revision, you hear all the stuff, you're not going to lose much weight, blah, blah, blah. But, everyone has their own journey, and I'm going to see what I can do to make mine work for me. So, on the 11th November, I check into the hospital at around 7:30. I went through the pre-op process, the prepping process, the IVs, and the history, and putting on the hat and gown and disrobing and, the whole thing. I had done the clean out the day before, so I hadn't eaten since the Tuesday night. My surgery was on Thursday morning, and promptly at 9:30 or whatever, I am in the cap and gown, getting all ready. I'm super excited. I wasn't nervous. I knew that I was going to go out, and once they move you to the OR, everyone's like, hi, 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 how are you? Lay on the bed, center your butt in the middle of the table, put your arms wherever, and you're going to get the anesthesia. So let me back up just a second. Before I get in there, I have a conversation and opportunity to meet my anesthesiologist, who I don't remember his name, but I will get it. He was excellent, and he talked with me about my concerns, and my concerns were, number one, that every time I get put under where, like for the gastric sleeve, I woke up extremely sick, and I was sick for weeks. Sick to my stomach, couldn't eat, couldn't drink, nothing. And it was all absolutely miserable. So I wanted to avoid that this time. So I simply told him, what I was looking for, and that I explained to him that when I get put out with using propofol for colonoscopy or any other methods, for dental work or whatever, I always wake up feeling great. And so I wanted to have that experience. I mean, you can ask for what you want, but you're not going to always get it, right? So anyway, he gave me a patch, a scopolamine patch to put behind my ear before surgery. They were going to order some other pill for me. For whatever reason, the hospital didn't carry it. So he did some other things, and whatever anesthesia he used for me, it worked great. I woke up with no recollection of waking up. I was on the gurney getting transferred to my room, and there I popped into the room, and there's my daughter, and yak, 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 and I'm just high as a kite, feeling great. And that was my experience, guys. I was like in the OR like 2 seconds. All my memories disappeared from that point forward until I get into my room, really, or on my way to the room. And it seemed like it was a pretty quick jaunt to the room. I don't know. But anyway, I got there. I remember I was feeling pretty good. I was like amazed. I wasn't sick. I was in heaven. They do not do the swallow test anymore, at least on me, while you're awake. If they do one, they do it while you're out under surgery. My doctor explained to me that when I had the sleeve and they gave you that drink this blue stuff, stand in front of the x-ray, watch it go down, boom, 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 and then vomit. And that's what had happened to me with the sleeve. So he said, if we don't do that anymore, we find that it makes the patient sick. Duh. Dang. To make matters worse, right? Take you from a bad place. But anyway, I was in a good place. I didn't have to do that swallow. I was fine. So I got the ice chips, water, little cups, and they just kept bringing them on, and I kept drinking them. And I didn't bring it over here, but anyway, I buy the little water enhancer. I use the Hawaiian Punch. It's sugar-free. To put in my water, because I'm looking for my water now, but I don't see it. Oh well. I'll get it. Meanwhile, it really helped me get through drinking a water enhancer on the ice. I drank tons of water in the hospital, and my daughter was cracking me up. They gave me this funny teddy bear. You'll see in the video. I'm like laughing and making jokes. I get up after a few hours. I might have slept sometime in there. Some of the videos are time-stamped like 3 p.m. I had my procedure around 10. So I'm guessing I got to the room like 1 or 2. I don't have any clue because the first date stamp on my video that my daughter took is like around 3. So I got up and walk. They disconnect your hose, and you know, you go for a little walk with the walker. I was kind of like, you know, a little unsteady, but it wasn't a bad experience. It didn't hurt. The revision itself, as far as pain goes, it was very minimal. It feels like bad exercise, that you've strained your stomach. It kind of feels like crampy, a little crampy and a little sore, like if you had done a lot of crunches, or you know, something like bruised you there a little bit. That's how I felt for the first days, and that's what the pain medicine is for. It takes that away for the most part. And so I wanted to touch on things I took to the hospital that were helpful, and I'll make it quick. I took like a half body pillow, very helpful, because you could put it on both. Your head is on it, and you can, you know, turn your head each way or kind of lean to one side. It's very comfortable. I took a heating pad. Awesome. I've heard that in many videos. So I definitely purchased a heating pad, and I've been very grateful to have it. I kept it on my tummy. It gave me comfort. And the following day, I got to have the full bariatric cuisine, which is broth under glass. You take like 3 sips, you're done. Then they bring you a couple Jello and a cup of applesauce. So you're in heaven, right? Because you can eat a little of that. All that stuff agreed with me fine, no problema. And so I was feeling good. I got up and walked a few more times. In one of the videos, I talk about the pee machine. In the hospital for ladies, and it's TMI, guys, if you don't want to hear it, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this miracle pee machine they have to help you pee while you're laying down out of it. It's like, it looks like kind of a banana, kind of a thing, and it's kind of foamy on one side. You just put it in your private area. You don't put it in, you just put it like there next to it, touching, and then you can just put your covers on, and it's connected to a hose that goes to a little canister that's like hanging on the thing. So every time you have to pee, you pee, machine turns on, sucks that pee out, and there's no muss, no fuss. It's amazing. So when you want to get up and walk, you just call the nurse. She takes the pee thing, you know, grabs your IV pole, and then you go wandering down the hall. So I got a bunch of walks in. I had to keep remembering that I had to wear my mask, so I had to come back to my room every time and put the damn thing on. Okay, I'm not anti-mask. I'm happy to do it. I just kept forgetting the damn thing. So anyway, that was all good. My experience was good. The people were nice, and the nurses came. My daughter was looking out for me. Apparently, when I came back to the room, or was put in the room, after one of the walks, they didn't reconnect my TED hose, which are those things that squish your legs back and forth on your calves to prevent blood clots. And they didn't hook me back up to my oxygen. And they kept telling me to breathe because my alarm kept going off. I think it was like dozing or nodding. And I would not stop breathing, but my breathing got more shallow, and they would come on, like, breathe deep. I remember them saying that a few times. I really was out of it, so I wasn't really aware that I wasn't getting any air or enough air. So I wasn't dying or anything. It was all good. Just nodding, and my oxygen dropped down. So those were the helpful things I found the most. I mean, I was able to watch a little TV. There's only 1 visitor per day allowed at the hospital during COVID at this particular place. My daughter that came with me the first day had to get a COVID test, and I had to get a COVID test, of course, and then my other daughter came the following day. So I was there 2 nights, and then released like after Hilton checkout time at 12 on the Saturday. I went Thursday, Friday, checkout Saturday. So that was good. I was just drinking the water, using the bathroom, walking. It was all good. And then I would just ring for my pain meds every so many hours. It wears off. I ring. They come. They put it in the IV, and boom, there you go. At one point, I had to get my IV changed. This one on the left started leaking, started bleeding a little bit. So they came, they yanked it out. Then they're trying to find a vein. They poked me like all over my hand on this one, even poked me like up here somewhere. Then on this one, which it had been right here, no, they did eventually find it here, sorry. Started out here on my left and ended up on my right. Meanwhile, they're punching, see my hand is still bruised. 10 days out, they hit me like 2 or 3 times in here, over here on this side of my arm, and then right there, this one, they blew a vein out here, trying to find it. Finally, they gave me one here, one more loaded, dilaudid, and then they, you know, after a little while, they pulled it out. So it was all good. Feeling good, up and around, really perky, getting enough fluids in. Apparently, everything was working well for me, and I was very happy. And I'm very happy so far with the gastric bypass. I don't find I have to sip, sip, sip. I don't glug, 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 but I don't have to go like tiny sips. Maybe it's the first day, but after that, you can drink fairly normally. At least I can. My experience. So I'm not a medical doctor or expert, so just refer to your own surgeon for any rules and regulations. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what my first 2 weeks diet is going to consist of. Everything has to go through a strainer that isn't like a protein drink. So I bought a couple of different kinds of protein, neutral flavor, to make my own shakes or to add into foods, because I know I'm going to be hungry, right? I bought some traditional protein drinks that are pre-made, and I'll show you those. So I'm not going to endorse any of them, but I happen to like these guys. This one's called 6 Star Clean Protein Shake, 32 grams. These will both have 3 grams sugar. This is chocolate and vanilla. Pretty tasty. And this one is the Fairlife. This one has, I think, less casein. This one is also 150 calories, 3 grams. This is the coffee flavor I happen to like. Also bought the chocolate. So I had a few of those. So diet consists of protein shakes, of course water, water enhancer, whatever you want to put in it. Applesauce, unsweetened applesauce, that's like a staple. I take my pills in that. They all have to be crushed under the size of my little fingernail. So if it's bigger than your fingernail, you can't swallow it. You got to crush it and throw it in your applesauce, or however you want to get it down the hatch. And you got to do pills one by one. You can't take the whole handful, and no. So that's all good. My new stomach, he says, is the size of 2 fingers. I don't know which finger, how long, but I guess my stomach, you know, must have been twice that long. So anyway, it's a little stomach pouch, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I'm really happy so far with it. No reflux whatsoever. That's awesome. The next kind of protein I bought is Doc Hale's unflavored protein. This was endorsed by my bariatric surgeons. I'm not paid by anybody. Not making an endorsement, just telling you it's pretty tasty as far as neutral protein. This one happens to have 80 calories, 0 carb, 20 protein. Doc Hale's. This gentleman that runs Doc Hale's, I don't even know if I don't think his name is Doc, but anyway, I did call down there and talk to them about the protein before I bought it. This was like $58, something like that, 54, whatever, shipping. That was cool. And I also used the IsoPure, which is 25 grams protein. I think it has a couple of carbs. It's all good. So I throw that into my applesauce and into my yogurt. I can have yogurt, but it has to be runny. So I got to add like protein drink to it to mush it out. It has to be like when I pick up my spoon, soupy. Drip, drip, drip. No particles, no fruit, no nothing in it. So I'm not allowed to have any soft things like potatoes or cereal, nothing. I did get some soup. And I bought these little containers, guys. These are really helpful. I got like 6 of them. These are like probably a 4-ounce serving. And in here I bought this brand Soup Country something. It's dried soup, potato and herb. And what I did was I mixed up half of the bag. It's 8 servings, so I made 4, so I'd have a bunch. And I put it through after I cooked it up and it reconstituted itself. I added broth and water to it, you know, to make it soup consistency. Followed the directions to make half the package. It's very delicious. I'll have to give you the name of that soon. And when I'm done, I pour it through this strainer or I have a crisscross strainer too that's for like a tea bag. This gets all the particles out. I'm not allowed to have any particles because the particles getting stuck in your stitch line or anastomosis line could cause lots of problems, infection. It said up into including death, so not playing with it, straining everything. The applesauce doesn't have to be strained, but anything like that you make that might have a lump or jump in it. That I also made vegetable broth. I used beets, carrot, potato, onion, garlic, and tomato. I cooked it all up, cabbage. I cooked it all up in broth. Then I added seasonings to it, not hot sauce. Seasonings, very delicious. And what I did was I took the broth off. I poured it off, and then I poured it through a strainer. And I drank it, and I added protein powder to it. It was the most delicious vegetable broth, and I got a lot of micronutrients that I think I really needed because, you know, your body is trying to recover. And I also am taking the berry melts, bariatric advanced, it's not berry melts is the brand. That's the multivitamin I'm taking. It dissolves in your mouth. Okay, it's a little chalky, but it's not nasty, and I can get it down, no problem. No, what I'm finding kind of annoying is crushing those big pills that you have to take, whatever your prescriptions are. The big ones are the most annoying, and having to take the nasty tasting pills broken up is really annoying. So I hope I can get rid of almost all of my pills and be free. I know this video is really long. I really appreciate you guys following me to the end. And I will come back with more stuff on my journey. This is day 10, and I'm down 14 pounds. 14 or 15 pounds. 202. So 2 pounds to Wonderland, guys. I'll show you my incisions later. They're not looking bad. There's just 4 across and one up, camera, one up, or whatever, the one up there. By the way, before I go, everyone says you're going to have a lot of gas. I didn't have too much gas. I was waiting for it. I kept waiting for it. Finally, a fart comes. Good. So everything's been good. And also, as far as poop goes, I pooped on day 6. Anyway, Docalax. Docalax makes a liquid one. You drink like a shot of that. And it's the softener, not the laxative. He told me take that every day, 1 to 2 times a day. You'll have no problem. He was right. Even with all those narcotics, no problema. Boom, boom, poo. Anyway, talk to you guys soon. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. And if you want to follow me, I'd be grateful to have you guys participate in my journey. Thanks so much. Ciao for now.